Suicide Guy VR is a dark comedy puzzle platformer that's very silly, doesn't take itself seriously, and it'd be absolutely one of the better VR puzzle games to come out in recent memory if it weren't for the clunky controls and the overall lack of polish. Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're reviewing Suicide Guy VR, a game that was ported to VR on July 24th, 2020 by developer Fabio Ferreira and publisher Chubby Pixel. This game is for the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and the Valve Index. I can confirm that Windows Mixed Reality does not work out of the box. You may need to edit controller bindings. I have not tested that out. This game normally retails for $6.99. It's currently on sale 15% off. I got a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game. And warning, there's going to be spoilers. I do spoil 2 puzzles. However, I wanted to do that just to be able to show you the gameplay, just so you get an idea of the kind of puzzles that you'll be running into. I did save the best puzzles. I showed basically 2 middle of the road puzzles that I enjoyed, but they weren't especially difficult and they weren't the most fun either. So middle of the road, didn't want to spoil too much for you guys. I did have fun during this game, so I am going to recommend it, but beware, like I mentioned, the controls are less than ideal, and I really struggled during my first 3 hours or so with the game. This game took me a total of 6 hours to complete. I don't think the game should take that long because there's not that many levels, and they're not that complicated, but I really struggled with the controls, especially on the Oculus Rift CV1 touch controllers. It seemed to me that the joystick just wasn't calibrated properly, and I struggled with controlling vehicles or controlling the mouse. There is a mind control mouse that you have to move, and you control them with the joystick, and it just was troublesome. Eventually I got used to it, but it was never something that was a smooth experience. It always felt clunky. And that's one area where this game can really improve, is the controls being better. Also, the use of ladders here is pretty bad, although there is an option to auto climb ladders if you want. I didn't do that because obviously I wanted to have the full VR experience and actually climb them myself. The one tip I can give, which I didn't find out till after several hours in this game, is that you don't actually need to hold on to the ladder. So you can climb one-handed up the ladder, let go, you'll stay in the position that you're in. Once you get to the very top though, you can pull yourself forward, but I recommend doing that and then jumping as well. So try to pull yourself forward as much as possible and then jump. And doing the combination of those two seems to always get you across the ledge. If you have a sideways ladder where you have to go sideways, that's a little bit more difficult, and you just have to learn to jump sideways. And once you get good at it, you won't have too many problems, but again, it's never a smooth or polished experience. The puzzles themselves I found to be fun, but they're definitely casual style puzzles, so the puzzles aren't very difficult at all. A lot of the puzzles can be solved just by being observant and just logic, using logic. They're not difficult, so if you're like a puzzle veteran, you'll probably find these puzzles too easy. However, for the rest of us, I think you'll enjoy these puzzles. Even if you're not normally a puzzle fan, I think you would enjoy these puzzles. Again, as long as you're okay with the clunky controls, which will add some difficulty. I especially had trouble with this part. I think this level took me almost an hour, which is embarrassing because it's not difficult. I knew the solution. It was just difficult for me to execute. And this recording is actually my second attempt. And what I mean by second attempt is not my second attempt as far as the game, but after I completed the whole game, I went back to record this video. I went back to do the level over again, and I found it much easier. It's definitely a lot easier after you complete it the first time. You just have to get used to the controls. I finally did. I finally learned how to control the vehicle properly. And in case you're wondering, since there is no showing inside the game, basically use joystick to move forward or backward. So the left joystick forward or backward, and then grab onto the steering wheel to steer left or right. and just get used to it. You'll probably have to drive around a bit to get used to it, but once you do, you'll find it a lot easier to complete this puzzle. Like I said, I had fun. The comedy here is very dark twisted humor, which I liked. That's right up my alley. So this is why I put up with the frustrating controls, just because I like the theme of this game. In case you haven't figured it out yet, you have to suicide yourself at the end of each level. So each level you have to figure out, how do I commit suicide here? And once you do, you completed the puzzle and you go on to the next. It's a lot of fun. It's very irreverent. It's dark humor, but you know what? It's never too dark. It's just silly, and it doesn't take itself seriously. It always keeps a lighthearted theme throughout. So don't worry, it's not too dark. I think I showed the darkest level, which is the goat level with, you know, the devil at the end. So beware. If you're like a Christian, you might find that insulting, but I found it funny. Yeah, so I do recommend this game, but the lack of polish with the controls, and there's also a weird physics where you bump into stuff and you bounce off of them, which again makes some of the puzzle solving more difficult than it needs to be. So a lot of these puzzles just aren't difficult, but executing them, and especially after you experience some of the frustrating either controls or physics, you just have to put up with that. And I did, and I don't regret my time in this game. Even though I spent 6 hours, I had fun for the most part. Yeah, there were like 1 hour of frustration, but the rest was pretty enjoyable. So I do recommend this game. If I have to score it, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. This game is priced at a very low price. It's a great deal for the price. You know, with the time that you'll spend in this game, and for the asking price, it's pretty low. In fact, I had already owned the non-VR version of this game, so I was really happy to get a free Steam key to the Steam Creator Connect program, just for that reason. But I'm glad that I got this game because I had a lot of fun. Personally, I like it more than a 6.5 out of 10, but I can only rate it a 6.5 out of 10 just because of the technical issues that I experienced. I did have to lower the graphical settings. It was on Ultra by default. I had to lower it to medium on my 1060 GTX. And for the most part, it was running at 90 frames per second. There were a few drops here and there. I definitely recommend making sure you run at 90 frames per second for this game, because some of the puzzles will be a lot more difficult when you're at low frame rates, and I learned that the hard way. So anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. If you like my review, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.